Hey folks, Matt Kuda here. Thanks for joining me for this week's live session. This week it's going to be what I wanted to do last week, which was take you to my website. It's brand new. This is kind of like going to someone's home, right? It's a new home for all my artwork, and so I'm proud of it. So I want to take you out there, give you kind of the grand tour, show you how to look for things, order things, just view images and read the descriptions, any of that kind of stuff. We're going to talk about that today, some of the cool features and so forth that the website has to offer. This is probably one of the most comprehensive, well, I should say this is one of the most unique websites I've ever been involved with creating. And it really has a lot of facets to it that are geared more toward getting people to where they want to go. You know, a lot of websites you go to, they're very clunky, they're hard to navigate. You're kind of overwhelmed by all of this stuff in your face. This is very clean. It's very easy to navigate, easy to see what to do and how to do it. But I still want to give you the kind of the grand tour of it. Let's go out here and set up my screen share. Okay. Okay, I'll give that a couple seconds to actually share out there. Hopefully you can see the website now. And let me know if you can't. Okay, looks like it's sharing properly. All right. So essentially, when you come out to the home page here, you have right off the bat, you get images and galleries. These are galleries on the homepage here. A lot of times you go to a homepage and it's like one big pretty picture, and you're like, okay, what do I do now? You know, where do I go? Where do I see all this stuff? So what I wanted to do with this website was I wanted to make it so that, you know, when you come out here to mattkudaart.com or mattkuda.com, you can see right away all the different, you can call them categories, you could call them galleries. I think galleries is a more common term used for them, but they're divided up into fairly easy to understand areas. I mean, you've got the best sellers, of course, the Hummingbird Project and Bluebird Project, which we talked about last week. They're very integral to what I'm doing here at Matt Kuda Photography, nature photography. You have the wading birds, which is also a big interest of mine. Landscapes, which I do occasionally. The elk, bears, and wolves, which I'm getting more and more involved with every day. And then coming down here to the bottom, the owls. Everybody loves owls, songbirds. So I do some black and white photography, believe it or not. And so there's a whole section of black and white photography. And then, of course, birds of prey. Now, you know, if we were to go in here to my best sellers, for example, you kind of notice that it has a very similar look and feel. It looks just like the galleries page, except now we're looking at actual images. And it has a price listed down here, a base price on all the images. Some of them you'll see just a little bit higher. Say this one's $30, this one's $26. That's because this is a full frame, I guess 35 millimeter full frame image. So you're going to get an 8x12 as a base image instead of an 8x10 over here on the Bluebird. So that's what's going on there. But these are my best sellers, and it's typically what people like the most when they come out here. The Strong Soul is just a huge image for me. I've sold countless numbers of those over the years, not just to people for wall art, which I do sell, but magazines, web pages, just any stock photography. I mean, it's sold thousands of times probably by now. And then, of course, it's probably been stolen thousands of times as well, but that's a whole nother story. So if I were to choose one of these images, let's say I just want to print the black bear, strong soul, just click on the image. Now, when you come in here, it's not just a buying site, right? I mean, it looks like, okay, I need to add it to cart and all that stuff, but the reality is that it's also, you kind of get the full description with this image. So when I say a full description, I mean I give the whole story behind this bear shot, and why I like it, why I think it's popular, so on and so forth. So you kind of, it's not just that you're, so when I put a link in, a lot of times I'll put a link in one of my Facebook posts. It's not just because I want you to go out there and buy it. It's because there's additional information in there. There's a whole story behind all of these shots, and I want to get that information out there. I just like to tell that story. And so I encourage you to check that out. They don't all have a unique story yet. I'm working on getting all the stories together, but pretty much all the big sellers have, pretty good stories behind them, how it was taken. There's blog entries out there and so forth. So I encourage you to check that out. Let's see. So if you do, if you're really into this photograph, for example, and you want to buy it, it's very simple to do on this website. If you look down here, it's kind of some people get confused by this, but I think it's kind of simple once you understand it. You have the medium, which is what it's printed on, right? What kind of paper, what kind, is it metal? Is it wood? Is it acrylic, or so on and so forth? So you want coasters printed. Coasters, I think, are kind of cool. I want to get some of them in here to show you, but essentially they make good stocking stuffers, for example. I mean, they're just they're kind of a utilitarian type of artwork, I guess. You can use them wherever in your home or office. But anyway, so I have several options available here. I try to keep the options simple. If you want some kind of special feature, let me know. Like if you want a certain kind of paper that I don't have on here, I can get that for you. Just let me know. But basic glossy is on here. That's probably that's your base print. You got metallic. We've talked about metallic printing versus metallic. There's metallic prints that are actually paper where it's printed on, right? Just like regular photo paper. And then there's metal prints, which are actually, it's a dye sublimation process where the layers are actually laid down on steel. And so it gives it a very shiny and gives depth to the image and so forth. So the metallic fine art print is a little bit different. Then down here where you have the high gloss metal print. Watercolor paper, I highly recommend watercolor paper. It's one of the most interesting. I've showed you samples of it here before. It's one of the most interesting types of I guess, I don't know what it is about it that I like. I think it has a very matte finish, which I like, but it also has that watercolor feel where the colors, they're not quite so bright and in your face. It's more of a kind of muted yet, they're rich tones, but they're kind of muted tones, a little more pastel-like in some ways. So I really love that watercolor option. Wood print, I've showed you that before. Our last giveaway was a wood print. Very cool. It has kind of you can see the wood grain kind of through it. And so it has almost a transparency to it with the wood. It's kind of interesting. Very popular, very cool. Canvas prints. I think we've all seen canvas prints before, but essentially if you take a art canvas, like you'd paint on, instead of painting on it, they print the photograph on it and it wraps around a frame, a wooden frame. So anyway, you can see the choices down here. I'm not going to belabor that anymore. You can save it to your favorites. By the way, you can create an account here if you're interested in that. Up at the top, you can create your own account. It remembers who you are. You can add to the favorites. You can email this photograph to someone. Maybe you're maybe somebody's big, a big owl collector or something. You can email this whatever image happens to be here to whomever. So that's kind of cool. Down here at the bottom, you'll see this related products, and some of them are related. It tries to look for things that are grouped together and similar. Here you can see that Strong Soul actually comes in 2 versions. I recently printed this on a black and white metal for my house. It looks very cool. Let's see here. It looks very cool. I think it looks as good or better in black and white than it does in color. So getting a little internet lag here today. Not surprised. Trying to stream live and operate websites and so on is very taxing on my internet connection here. Okay, so what if I want to, let's go through that process. Say I want to buy that image. Okay, I want to buy the bear. Let's go back in there. If it'll load up for us here. There we go. And I want it on metal because I think it rocks on metal, which it does. And I just want an 8x12. I think the 8x12 looks great in this, by the way. That's what I have in my work area is an 8x12 of this. I think it's amazing looking. Okay. Hello, I want high gloss metal print. Thank you. There we go. And styles. Yeah, floating mount. That's fine. Whatever. Add to cart, and it just works like any other cart process you've ever been involved in. Go to checkout. Up there at the top, it gives you that. You put your shipping information in, all that good stuff, and you're ready to go. So that's the basics of just going through the checkout process. But there's more to show out here than just how to check out and how to buy something. There's a newsletter tab out here. If you're not currently subscribed to the newsletter, I highly recommend that you do just that, because I think it really is beneficial. Because here's the thing, and I've talked about this before. I don't know if you've heard this from anyone else or not. I assume you have, but Facebook and Instagram didn't used to be like this. Facebook didn't used to be like this. But what they do now is you don't see the images that you want to see. You see the images they want you to see, right? Facebook has complex algorithms that basically say, oh, I think you want to see these 5 posts, right? So if you're in a wildlife mood that day, or you want to see some wildlife images, you may not see them. Subscribing to the newsletter does 2 things. One, it guarantees that once a week, you're going to see the photo of the week, guaranteed in your inbox. 2, it puts you into the VIP access area, which I'm going to talk about here in a minute. And it also, you're being VIP, which is anyone that subscribes to the newsletter. Being a VIP puts you in a category. All right. It's a category where if I'm going to do something, you're the first ones to see it. If I'm going to create another Reflections of the Creator magazine article or whatever, you're going to see it first, right? You're going to have access to both of the editions of Reflections of the Creator for free if you're a member. There's no cost. It's simply just signing up for the email service. Of course, I'm going to send out promotions every once in a while. I don't send out 7 emails a week. 1 email maybe 2. When it's a really huge sale, you might see 3. That's pretty much the extent of it. I'm trying to think back. I don't think I've ever sent out more than 3 emails in a week. So if you're worried about spam, I just don't spam. I've got some guys that I subscribe to that, oh my word, they send out an email every single day. And it's like, I just don't even look at them anymore. Right. So I don't believe in that. I don't believe in flooding your inbox with a bunch of junk. So cool thing is you get a 20% off coupon right off the bat just for signing up. You'll also be probably one of the first to see any significant sales. I usually will send out the email before I actually post on social media, so you'll see that type of thing. So anyway, that's the best way to get it. Bottom line, just wanted to let you know that. I mean, Facebook and Instagram are not your friends. Trust me. So the other thing is I put out a blog. Every week I put out a blog, sometimes more, depends on the week, depends on what I'm doing. This week is the photo of the week is Cardinal and Blossoms. So you can see that here. Continue reading if you want to. If not, you move on. That's the image of the week this week. Very popular image. By the way, this is an image that, if I look at a lot of my images, some of my images, let's be honest, they're not for everyone, right? They're not for everyone's decor. But this is one of those images, just like the hummingbirds, where I think it really fits a niche in your home. All right. It's one of those things that everybody identifies with. The Northern Cardinal is what, seven states have it, I think. What is it? I think I have it written in here. 7 different states in America have the Northern Cardinal as a state bird. So it is a common bird. It is a bird that everyone respects. Maybe next to the bald eagle, it's probably the most recognized bird in America, I would say. So I don't know how I got off on all that, but you get me talking about birds and I'll be here all day. So there's that. Right? You can subscribe to that. You can search. That's another thing I haven't talked about. You can do searches for anything in here. Let's go ahead and do that right now. Say I want to search for, bird. I don't know, bird. Okay, here's all the images that have bird and somewhere in the caption or keywords or something like that. So you can just scroll to your heart is content here on this. Okay. For those that don't know, I my specialty is birds. Okay. I'm a wildlife photographer that specializes in birds. I also do mammals and I also do landscapes. But if you're going to see more birds out here than anything else, I did want to talk about a new feature out here that is gift cards. You can actually buy gift cards at mattkudaart.com now. And currently I just have the $100 gift card. I think that's probably, that's probably a good solid number for giving a gift for the website. So I got those out there. That's kind of cool. You can find out a little bit more about me by going to About the Artist. You'll find out why I do what I do. I think I explained that in a previous podcast and on a live video as well. You can contact me here. That's very typical. Here's contact, here's email, name, so on and so forth. Okay. Everybody's seen that before. Frequently asked questions. This is where you'll see, this is all the nitty gritty. This is how long it would take to order something, how much money it would cost for shipping, estimates, and all that kind of stuff in here. So if you have any technical questions, that's where it would be. And then finally here, there's this last link called VIP access. And that's what I was just talking about. And this is something, it's kind of new. I've talked about it for some time. I've always thought of my email subscribers as VIPs, just simply because they care enough to actually, sign up for an email. And so in this area, and I haven't fully built this area out yet, but I just kind of wanted to, give you a little bit of a taste for what it will be. In this area, you will be able to instantly download reflections of the creator journal that I put out about once a year. I put that out once every year, once every 2 years, I put out another edition. That's free to you, the digital version. There'll be things in there in the future that no one else sees, behind the scenes kinds of things. You're going to see all the podcasts, like 70, I think I got 74 podcast episodes that's going to be going out here. I've got a bunch of YouTube videos for photographers and just general interest. So this area is specifically for that. And like I said, I encourage you to sign up for the email. It's very easy to do. By far, the easiest way to keep up with what I'm doing. Social media is cool, but like I said, it's got its issues, and you're basically at Zuckerberg's will. So if he suddenly decides, I don't want you to see any of this stuff. Matt said something bad about Facebook one time, so I'm gonna exclude all his followers from seeing his work. I mean, you don't know. That's the way they are. That's the way Facebook and Instagram are. They didn't used to be that way. Back when they needed us, that's funny. Back when they needed us, right? Everything was free, right? You could, when I posted something, all my friends saw it. When I went to a business page, when I posted something, everyone saw it. Well, now it's like pay to play. Hey, if I want you to see my stuff, you know what I have to do? I got to pay. I have to pay, $2 a day or something like that, just so I can make sure that everyone gets to see it. It helps keep prices down. It helps keep my business going better, which helps you to see more stuff when you use the email service, because email is a guarantee, right? It's just a guarantee for me. It's a guarantee for you. And of course, there's always spam filters and that kind of thing. So, I mean, you've got to deal with that. But I still think email is the funniest thing. I've been in IT during the day. I am a software developer. That's what I do for my main living. And I have seen technology change over the years. I was here when as many of you were, when Facebook was born, when social media basically was born. And the funny thing is, email still remains the most effective way to get information about someone or to solicit information from someone. So just even, they might not check their email for a couple of days. Okay, great. I mean, Messenger is probably the fastest, but email still remains up there at the top, especially for things that can wait. Like when I send out my weekly email on Wednesdays, it can wait a couple days, right, before you see it. But you're still guaranteed to see it, right? That's so funny. It's so funny to me. I know why they're doing it, but it's so funny that Facebook is so adamant about controlling what we see. And that's kind of scary, guys. I mean, I don't want to go too far off that down this beaten path, but I got to say, man, as more of a libertarian type of person, I guess I'm kind of libertarian. I don't know what I am. I tend to wonder about things like that, because it's like they're kind of controlling what you see. You're not in control. You're not in control like you think you are. I just wanted to throw that out there. And the people that do what I do and are behind the scenes, they know what's going on. It's not evil necessarily. It's just, they're a private company, and they can tell you what they can decide what they want you to see. So again, that's why I encourage the email. I'm always pushing that email, and I wish more people would do it, because I think it's a much, much better way to keep up and see things. Especially all you North Carolinians out there. I'm constantly doing North Carolina images. Okay, so that's basically the new website in a nutshell. And so, I hope you enjoyed that. I hope you enjoyed that little thing. I know it's hard to see on a phone. You know, maybe you can go back later and it'll be recorded and put out there for later to view. I hope you can go out and do that. Just wanted to make sure I didn't forget anything. Let me look down through my list. You know, if you have any questions or you want to find out more, you know, you can, I put up here on the screen, you know, there's a ton of ways to contact me. There's a ton of ways to, you know, if you want information about, you know, something photography related, you know, I'm fine with questions about that. Questions about products, questions about, you know, where I took a certain photograph, or, you know, what kind of gear do I use? That's the best way to contact me, really, through the website. But, you know, Matt Kuda at mattkuda.com, matt.kuda at mattkuda.com, or through the website. So, you know, this is kind of the format that I'm going to be using going forward. So far, it worked really good. This is a product called StreamYard, and they allow me to really put together a better stream. If you watched the debacle last week with Facebook, Facebook is just so buggy, guys. It's not a good platform for doing things like this. You really need another service to do it. I think you're limited with StreamYard as to what I can do, but I think it's a good product. So we'll stick with it for a little while and see how it goes. I've got another possible thing I can use there as well. But anyway, I hope you enjoyed it. Thanks for watching. Make it a great day and get out there and enjoy nature. Bye-bye.